Two scandals, one global shockwave. Watergate brought down a U.S. president, while Brazil's Operation Car Wash exposed a corruption network spanning continents. But did the battle against corruption itself become a tool of political power? The origins of scandal. Both Watergate and Operation Car Wash started as minor incidents that escalated into major political controversies. Watergate began with a break-in at the Democratic National Committee in 1972, eventually exposing President Nixon's involvement in widespread abuse of power, including secret recordings and cover-ups. It revealed a government willing to undermine democratic principles. Operation Car Wash, starting in 2014 as a money laundering probe at a Brasilia car wash, uncovered massive corruption involving state-owned companies like Petrobras. These scandals demonstrate how political corruption can range from direct political interference to large-scale financial corruption within state resources. Political fallout. The political ramifications of Watergate and Operation Car Wash were far-reaching and devastating for the figures involved. Watergate's revelations led to President Nixon's unprecedented resignation in 1974, a shocking event that left an indelible mark on American politics. Nixon's downfall prompted widespread calls for transparency and government accountability, resulting in significant reforms in the U.S. political system, including changes in campaign finance laws and an emphasis on oversight. In Brazil, Operation Car Wash implicated numerous political figures, including two former presidents, Lula da Silva and Dilma Rousseff. This web of corruption was not limited to one party, but spanned across the entire political spectrum, undermining public trust in Brazil's institutions. The scandal eventually propelled Jair Bolsonaro to power in 2018 on an anti-corruption platform, reflecting the nation's desperation for change. Yet Bolsonaro's own involvement in questionable activities during his tenure has added a layer of irony to the scandal's aftermath. Both scandals illustrate how political fallout can reshape the political landscape, but also how new administrations may still struggle with the shadows of corruption. Judicial drama and overreach. The legal battles in both Watergate and Operation Car Wash were as dramatic as the scandals themselves. In the United States, the Watergate investigation faced significant resistance from the Nixon administration, leading to a constitutional crisis. The case culminated in the historic Supreme Court ruling in United States v. Nixon, which forced the president to release Oval Office tapes, ultimately sealing his fate. The televised hearings brought the scandal into every American home, emphasizing the critical role of the judiciary and media in holding the government accountable. In Brazil, Operation Car Wash was initially hailed for its bold legal strategies, including the use of plea bargains and pretrial detentions to unearth corruption at unprecedented levels. However, these tactics later came under scrutiny for overreach and bias, particularly after revelations that Judge Sergio Moro, who presided over many key cases, coordinated with prosecutors and later joined Bolsonaro's government as Minister of Justice. These developments raised questions about the integrity of the judicial process and highlighted the thin line between aggressive legal action and judicial overreach. Corruption unmasked globally. Both scandals had implications that extended beyond their national borders, revealing the global nature of political corruption. Watergate primarily shook the foundations of American politics, but its lessons about the dangers of unchecked power resonated worldwide, influencing how other democracies viewed and handled political misconduct. The scandal's exposure of a sitting president's willingness to misuse power for personal and political gain led to an international conversation about the importance of governmental transparency. Operation Car Wash's scope was even more expansive, as the investigation uncovered a sprawling network of corruption that reached across Latin America and beyond. It implicated multinational companies and politicians in multiple countries, showcasing how corporate bribery and political graft are not confined by national boundaries. The investigation led to the cooperation of 41 countries, underscoring the global reach of corruption and the need for international collaboration in combating it. This global unmasking of corruption served as a wake-up call, demonstrating that political and financial corruption can infiltrate institutions and societies far and wide. Institutional impacts. The scandals triggered significant institutional changes in their respective countries, though with differing long-term outcomes. In the United States, the aftermath of Watergate led to a series of reforms aimed at preventing similar abuses of power. These included the creation of the Federal Election Commission and the enactment of laws such as the Ethics in Government Act, which sought to enhance transparency and accountability in government. These changes, while not foolproof, represented a concerted effort to restore public faith in democratic institutions. In Brazil, Operation Car Wash initially brought about a wave of anti-corruption sentiment and legal changes designed to clamp down on graft. However, in recent years, Brazil has witnessed a rollback of some of these reforms. Stricter sanctions were introduced against prosecutors and judges who overstepped their functions, and the administrative improbity law, a key tool in the fight against corruption, saw its scope significantly reduced. This reversal suggests a troubling trend where anti-corruption measures can be weakened by political forces, indicating the fragile nature of institutional change in the face of entrenched power structures. Public perception and media. The media played a pivotal role in both scandals, shaping public perception and influencing the course of events. Watergate became a household name in the United States, largely due to the relentless reporting by journalists like Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein of The Washington Post. Their investigative journalism brought the scandal to light, highlighting the power of a free press in holding the government accountable. The televised Senate hearings further amplified public outrage, cementing Watergate's place in the collective American consciousness as a symbol of political corruption. Operation Car Wash also received extensive media coverage, initially portraying it as a heroic effort to combat endemic corruption in Brazil. However, as the investigation progressed, media narratives shifted. Leaked messages suggested possible collusion between Judge Sergio Moro and prosecutors, leading to allegations of bias and political manipulation. The media's dual role in exposing and scrutinizing the investigation itself added a layer of complexity to the public's understanding of the scandal, illustrating how media coverage can both illuminate and complicate political events. Legal aftermath and reversals. Watergate's legal aftermath was decisive, resulting in 69 indictments and 48 convictions of high-ranking officials, including members of the Nixon administration. The legal process underscored the idea that no one, not even the president, is above the law. Nixon's resignation and subsequent pardon by his successor, Gerald Ford, sparked a national debate about justice and accountability, but the rule of law ultimately prevailed. In contrast, Operation Car Wash's legal consequences have been more convoluted. While the investigation led to numerous convictions and hefty fines, including the end-of-the-world plea deal involving Odebrecht, many of these decisions have since been overturned or are at risk of reversal. Critics argue that the operation's extensive use of plea bargains and other aggressive legal tactics may have contributed to the eventual backlash and legal reversals, suggesting that the fight against corruption can be hampered by overzealous prosecution. The shifting legal landscape in Brazil illustrates the challenges of sustaining anti-corruption efforts in a politically charged environment. A fight against corruption or political weapon? Both Watergate and Operation Car Wash raised questions about the true motivations behind anti-corruption efforts. Watergate is often viewed as a clear-cut case of political malfeasance, where Nixon and his aides engaged in a range of illegal activities to secure power. However, some still debate whether the scandal was used by political opponents to undermine the presidency, reflecting how anti-corruption efforts can become politicized. Operation Car Wash, initially celebrated for its bold crackdown on corruption, later faced accusations of being used as a political weapon. Leaked communications suggested that some actions were politically motivated, particularly the prosecution of former President Lula, which many believe was intended to prevent his return to power. These revelations have fueled skepticism about whether the investigation was an impartial quest for justice or a tool for political gain. The controversies surrounding both scandals underscore the difficulty of combating corruption in environments where the line between justice and politics is often blurred. That's a wrap on our deep dive into two of the biggest political scandals in modern history, Watergate and Operation Car Wash. If you found this video insightful, Don't forget to hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more.